Hi guys, Matt Easton here. So just a little update really. I did a review, which I will link below, of this axe from, it's a Slavic type of axe from the sort of 10th, 11th century from Wulflund. And as I said, I did a review of this before. I put a link to that review below. And really just to update, to say that one of my main criticisms was that the shaft, when it came to me, was a bit too long, I thought, for a one-handed axe. Some people since then commented that this axe may originally, actually due to the size of the head, have been a two-handed axe. Yep, completely possible. It's possible actually that it may have been something akin to a Dane axe. We just don't really know because the shafts, obviously, of these things don't survive, we just have the heads. However, for my purposes, I wanted a large one-handed axe. And yeah, so my main criticisms were that the shaft was a bit too long and a bit too fat for my hands, at least one-handed. So, very simply, I chopped some of the shaft off, sawed some of it off, and then you will see I have turned it into almost a rectangular section. And I have to say, now the thing handles really quite well and moves nicely. You'll notice I'm not holding it completely down at the end, although I could do. If I was fighting with shield, for example, I could quite happily use the axe holding it with that much shaft out the bottom, which essentially acts like a pommel. So I could use the axe this way, and then if I wanted to, I could switch out to the full length grip for a really long blow, maybe at someone's leg or whatever. Okay, so that's kind of the thing that I was looking for. And I have to say, since I made those modifications, which are perfectly easy to do really, anybody with basic woodworking tools and you know, an hour or two of spare time can do it, can do that. So I mean, it's now, I'm very happy with this axe. Some people mentioned that the grain of the wood doesn't go in the right direction. That may be true, but you know, I'm not, to be honest, I'm not going to be using this extremely heavily. I'm not going to be using it in reenactment because it's sharp. I'm not going to be using it for chopping down trees. So really, I'm only going to be swinging it around and maybe doing test cutting with it. And for those purposes, the wood's strong enough. It's good quality wood. So, but yeah, feedback to Wulflund might be to get the orientation of the grain of their wood in the other direction, 90 degrees to this. Only details really. Now you can now see the cross section of the shaft that I've made, and it's quite flat on the sides here. I actually made it thinner. I don't know if you'll be able to see on the camera, but I made it thinner here, and it actually flares out slightly that way and flares out slightly that way. So it really helps the hand to not slip down too much and certainly not slide off the end, hopefully. And I've also, with a file, put a groove all the way around, which I may, that's really a safety groove to, if the hand does slide down, to really give friction at the end so it won't come out of my hand, a bit like a pommel. The little finger gets stuck in it. I may possibly put some kind of thong or something in there to give a raised ridge to really accentuate that. But there we go, yeah, essentially I'm pretty happy with this axe now. I've sharpened it up, I have cut with it, and it does really well. It's a nice axe, and as you see, it's extremely pointy. Cheers guys!
Click subscribe now and also follow us on Facebook.